Hi guys, this is the Roaming Asian. It's been a while since my last update, but recently I left Thailand and spent 2 months in Cambodia, specifically in Phnom Penh. Let's start with the airport. The first thing that surprised me was Techo International Airport. It's very spacious and modern, although there aren't that many stores yet. Still, it felt like a really nice welcome into the country. I didn't need to apply for an e-visa beforehand. There is a digital arrival card that you need to fill out online within 3 days before your flight. I also prepared a return ticket, a bus ticket to Vietnam, just in case, because airlines usually ask for proof of onward travel. But when I arrived in Phnom Penh, immigration was very simple. The officer just asked how long I was staying. I said 2 weeks. No return ticket was asked. No stamp either. Everything is now digital. Instead, you'll receive an email confirmation showing your permitted stay. Honestly, the whole process was very smooth. No stress. You can take a Grab tuk-tuk if you want to save money. Maybe up to 50%. But in my case, I had 2 luggages, 28-inch and 18-inch. So I skipped that option. My accommodation cost about $12 per night. It was spacious, and it had a washing machine and a small kitchen. But, honestly, cleanliness was an issue. Because of that, I didn't even feel comfortable using the kitchen or washing machine. Luckily, there was a laundromat across the street called Clean 24. One thing that surprised me, Phnom Penh is very cashless. I only carried about $50 in USD the entire time, and I never had to withdraw from an ATM. To avoid ATM fees, especially since I'm paid weekly, I relied heavily on digital payments. For the laundromat, I used the Ba Kong tourist app. It has pretty bad reviews, but honestly, it worked well for me. Here's how it works. You scan the store's QR code, pay in Riel, and that's it. I connected my Wise card to it, with a minimum top-up of 50,000 Riel. Even Grab tuk-tuks accept QR payments. Drivers usually have their QR code displayed inside the vehicle. Super convenient. Since I entered visa-free, I initially had 30 days. I decided to extend for another 30 days, and I used an agent called World Pop, which cost me $47. You can do it yourself, but I was working up to 12 hours a day, so I didn't have time. Important tip: apply during your second week, because processing takes about 10 business days. Here's something a lot of people don't talk about. You need something called FPCS. Basically, your address registration. Normally, the landlord should do this, But mine didn't. So I had to register myself using the app. The visa agent only needed a screenshot showing your passport details, your registered address. If you plan to extend your stay, make sure your landlord registers you or be ready to do it yourself. Another challenge was there's no Lazada. They have something called L192, but it's limited. I used a service called Cambodia, where you send them a Lazada Vietnam link and, they order it for you. It works, but, expect to wait about 2 weeks. Thankfully, Cambodia also has a lot of good local products and imported goods. You just need to spend time searching. Because of the war, they no longer buy from Lazada Thailand. One thing I noticed was that some very busy streets don't have pedestrian lanes, so crossing the road can feel, risky. Interestingly, one of the few proper pedestrian areas I saw was near the Vietnam embassy, which says a lot. Food is very affordable. Groceries are cheap. Phnom Penh overall feels laid back, especially compared to other Southeast Asian cities. I had been to Siem Reap before, but this was my first time staying in Cambodia for a full 60 days. At the airport, security was very quick. No need to remove your shoes. Just place your bags on the tray, quick body scan, and you're through. For immigration, they, mostly use e-gates. You scan your passport, scan your face, and wait for approval. In my case, I waited a bit longer, probably because I stayed the full 60 days and left on the exact last day of my visa. An officer waiting by the e-gate simply tapped something on his device and I was cleared. Again, no exit stamp. So yes, Cambodia is easy to enter, mostly cashless, affordable but with a few quirks you should be aware of. And of course, there's always the border run option to either Vietnam or Laos. I hope this gave you some useful insights, especially about visas, payments, and, daily life in Phnom Penh. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.